Most people think they're in decent shape until they try this one movement for 30 seconds. You want to know why Navy SEALs and elite combat athletes swear by bear crawls? Because it's the ultimate full-body weapon disguised as a simple movement. But that's not the only reason. There are 5 major transformations bear crawls trigger in the human body, and when you see what happens after just 30 days, the results are almost unbelievable. A single 15-minute bear crawl session activates more stabilizing muscles than most people engage in an entire week of gym workouts. That's total body integration that builds bulletproof strength without a single piece of equipment. However, there's a catch, and it's a massive one. Most people do it completely wrong. But before we get into that critical mistake, let's break down the laundry list of ways bear crawls will completely rebuild your body from the ground up. First, let's talk about the shoulder stability you're building, the kind that makes you injury-proof for life. In our screen-dominated world, most people have shoulders that are about as stable as a house of cards in a hurricane. Years of hunching over keyboards and phones have turned what should be powerful, mobile joints into compensation machines that are one wrong movement away from disaster. Bear crawls are the world's most effective shoulder rehabilitation system disguised as a strength exercise. The quadrupedal position forces your shoulders to become weight-bearing joints, something they're designed to do but rarely get to practice in modern life. Your rotator cuff muscles, those small but absolutely crucial stabilizers, have to fire constantly to keep your shoulder joint centered while supporting 60–70% of your body weight. Your serratus anterior, the muscle responsible for keeping your shoulder blades properly positioned, gets worked in ways that no traditional exercise can replicate. EMG studies have shown that bear crawl positions create shoulder stabilization demands that are 40% higher than traditional planks. This isn't just about building bigger deltoids. This is about creating shoulders that function like they're supposed to, as stable, mobile powerhouses that can handle whatever life throws at them. After just 2 weeks of consistent bear crawling, you'll notice your shoulders sit differently. They'll feel more connected to your core. That chronic tension from poor posture starts to fade, and activities like reaching overhead or carrying heavy objects become effortless instead of painful. Now, you're going to want to stick around for the third benefit because it targets the one thing that determines how you'll age. But first, let's talk about what bear crawls do to your core strength. Most people think they have a strong core because they can do a few planks or crunches, but bear crawls reveal the brutal truth about functional core strength. This isn't about getting a six-pack for Instagram. This is about building what I call anti-movement core strength, the ability to resist unwanted motion while your limbs are moving independently. When you're in that bear crawl position, your core has to work overtime to prevent your spine from rotating, extending, or flexing, while your arms and legs are creating forces that want to pull you in every direction. Your deep core muscles, like the transverse abdominis and multifidus, have to coordinate perfectly with your diaphragm and pelvic floor to create what researchers call intra-abdominal pressure, basically turning your midsection into a natural weight belt that protects your spine. But here's where bear crawls get really interesting. Unlike static holds, bear crawls force your core to maintain stability while you're moving through space. This creates dynamic stability, which is exactly what you need for real-world activities like lifting, twisting, and moving in multiple planes. A study comparing bear crawls to traditional core exercises found that crawling patterns activated deep core muscles 65% more effectively than planks and 85% more than crunches. You're essentially getting the world's most advanced core workout without doing a single sit-up. Here's that benefit I mentioned. Bear crawls completely transform your movement quality and coordination in ways that will blow your mind. Your nervous system controls everything your body does, and most people's nervous systems have been dulled by years of repetitive, single-plane movements. Bear crawls wake up neural pathways that have been dormant since you were a baby. The cross-pattern movement, opposite arm and leg working together, is fundamental to human locomotion. It's how we're wired to move, but modern life has made us forget these basic patterns. This contralateral coordination doesn't just make you better at bear crawls, it makes you better at everything. Your brain has to integrate information from your visual system, vestibular system, and proprioceptors while coordinating 4 limbs independently. It's like a full system reboot for your nervous system. Research shows that crawling patterns significantly improve something called bilateral integration, your brain's ability to coordinate both sides of your body effectively. This translates to better athletic performance, improved balance, and that effortless coordination that makes all movement feel natural and smooth. You'll notice this enhanced coordination bleeding into everything you do, from walking upstairs to playing sports to simply moving through your day with more grace and control. Now, before we dive into what bear crawls do to your posterior chain, I want to let you know that bear crawls are incredibly powerful, but they're just one piece of the puzzle. If you want a complete step-by-step system that addresses every area where your body needs healing and rebuilding, I created the Rewired Body Blueprint specifically for people dealing with years of accumulated stiffness and pain. This comprehensive guide combines targeted exercises, movement therapy, and nervous system resets to undo decades of wear and tear in just 5 weeks. You'll find the link in the description below. The fourth transformation happens in your posterior chain, and this is where bear crawls separate themselves from every other exercise. Your posterior chain, your glutes, hamstrings, and entire backside, is supposed to be the powerhouse of your body. But for most people, it's been put to sleep by excessive sitting and forward-dominant postures. Bear crawls wake up your posterior chain in the most functional way possible. The position demands that your glutes fire constantly to maintain hip stability and prevent your lower back from overextending. Your hamstrings have to work overtime to control your leg movement while maintaining perfect alignment. But it's not just about your legs. Your entire back has to engage to maintain that perfect neutral spine position against gravity. Your lats, rhomboids, and deep spinal stabilizers all work together to create a rigid, stable platform for movement. This posterior chain activation is exactly what most people are missing. It's why they have lower back pain, why they can't generate power in their movements, and why they feel weak and unstable during physical activities. Bear crawls teach your posterior chain to work as an integrated unit instead of a collection of individual muscles. This is functional strength that translates directly to better posture, pain-free movement, and the kind of power generation that makes everything else feel easier. But before I show you the critical mistakes that ruin everything, there's one more benefit that will change how you think about conditioning forever. Bear crawls are metabolic conditioning at its finest. This isn't just about burning calories during the exercise, it's about creating metabolic adaptations that turn your body into a fat-burning machine. The combination of strength, stability, and cardiovascular demand creates what researchers call excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, or EPOC. Your body continues burning calories at an elevated rate for hours after you finish bear crawling. A study tracking metabolic response found that just 10 minutes of bear crawl intervals elevated metabolic rate by 23% for the following 6 hours. That's like getting a free cardio session without the joint-pounding impact of running or the mind-numbing boredom of traditional cardio equipment. You're building strength, improving coordination, and burning fat simultaneously. It's the ultimate efficiency exercise for people who want maximum results in minimum time. Now let's talk about those critical mistakes that can ruin everything. Bear crawls look simple, but there's a specific technique that separates the people who get incredible results from those who waste their time and risk injury. The biggest mistake is moving too fast. Bear crawls are not about speed. If you're scrambling across the floor like your life depends on it, you're missing the entire point. The power comes from control, not chaos. Think about moving like you're carrying a full glass of water on your back that you can't spill. Every movement should be deliberate, controlled, and perfectly coordinated. Your opposite hand and foot should move together in perfect synchronization while your core maintains rock-solid stability. The second major mistake is letting your hips sag or pike up. Your body should form a straight line from your head to your heels. If your hips drop, you lose all the core engagement and put dangerous stress on your lower back. If they pike up like you're doing downward dog, you're not getting the posterior chain activation that makes this exercise so powerful. The third mistake is neglecting your breathing. Many people hold their breath during bear crawls, which defeats the purpose and limits how long you can maintain good form. You want to breathe steadily and rhythmically, using your breath to help maintain core stability. For beginners, start with 20-30 seconds of perfect form, then rest for 60 seconds. Focus on quality over quantity. As you get stronger and more coordinated, you can increase the time or add more sets. Don't try to make this complicated. Bear crawls work best when integrated into your existing routine or used as movement breaks throughout your day. 2-3 minutes of bear crawling can completely reset your posture and energy levels. By day 30, the transformation will be undeniable. Your shoulders will feel bulletproof, your core will be genuinely strong, and your entire body will move with a coordination and power you didn't know you had. the compensation patterns and chronic pain you've been living with will start disappearing.